It wasn't long ago that the Lions were one of the dominant forces in Southern Hemisphere rugby. After all, they did reach 3 Super Rugby finals in a row from 2016 to 2018. A very impressive achievement. However, their 2019 season was disappointing, and the 2020 season was looking even worse until COVID suspended Super Rugby. Domestic rugby in South Africa is back, and the Lions are in fact the worst performing South African Super Rugby franchise at the moment. So how did this happen? How did the Lions go from constantly being one of the top teams on the log in Super Rugby to a side that struggles to win simple games? Well, like anything in rugby, it's more complicated than it seems. Let's take a look at what happened. The Lions returned to Super Rugby in 2014 after a year of relegation. The Union had to switch things up if they wanted to avoid being drifters at the bottom of the log like they were in 2012 and the years prior. Johan Ackermann was appointed head coach with Swys de Bruin as his assistant. These two would build up a new team and would soon turn the Lions into a rugby powerhouse. Things started to improve immediately at the Lions. In 2014, they won 7 games, which was the best record they had achieved in Super Rugby since 2001. In 2015, they won 9 games and came 8th on the combined log. Remember, this was a team that consistently placed in the bottom 3 almost every year prior to 2014. And in 2016, against all odds, they made the Super Rugby final. They lost it, yes, but the Lions were now the face of South African Super Rugby as they were the best performing team in the country. There was a lot of hope and optimism around this team because there was plenty of young talent, and the coaches, still Ackermann and de Bruin, were clearly on the right track. To make it even better, the Lions were playing very attractive running rugby. The Lions team was almost identical in 2017 and they reached the Super Rugby final for the 2nd year in a row. They lost it again, but could have won the whole thing if Kwagga Smith wasn't sent off with a red card in the first half. Even though 2017 was a year the Lions could be very proud of, I believe this is where things started to go downhill. The end of 2017/beginning of 2018 was when the Lions started to lose important players to overseas clubs such as Faf de Klerk and Jaco Kriel. 2 players may not sound like a big deal, but don't underestimate the impact one player can make in a team, let alone 2. Jaco Kriel was one of the senior players at the Lions and a great leader. The impact of his loss was definitely felt. Faf de Klerk's replacement, Ross Cronje, was playing good rugby at the time, but after seeing how Faf has shone at Sale Sharks, it became clear that it was a big loss. In addition, the Lions captain Warren Whiteley was constantly in and out of the team due to injuries. On top of all of this, Johan Ackermann decided to call it a day at the Lions and resign as head coach. The key to a champion side is to build up a core group of players and to have continuity. That is part of why the Crusaders have won the last 3 Super Rugby titles in a row. They have maintained a core group of players with the same coach, which has only helped them grow stronger each year. On the other hand, the Lions started to lose players and coaches from the end of 2017, which is a very common problem in South African Super Rugby sides. Also, I believe the 2017 final damaged the morale of the Lions team quite severely. It was a home final and a game they could have won. It was the 2nd year in a row they had underperformed in the final. Maybe they started to believe they were chokers or that luck just wasn't on their side. It's difficult for a team to bounce back from such a disappointment. Nonetheless, the Lions were still a strong side the following year. Swys de Bruin took over in 2018, which helped in maintaining continuity in the team's lineup and game plan. However, they did not perform as well as they did in the previous 2 seasons. They only won 9 games as opposed to 14 in 2017 and 11 in 2016. They made it to the final, but lost badly to the Crusaders 37-18. I cannot imagine the disappointment these guys must have felt. 3 consecutive losses in a Super Rugby final. This damaged the morale of the Lions even further, and yet again they lost players to overseas clubs at the end of the season. Franco Mostert, Ruan Dreyer, Jacques van Rooyen. Warren Whiteley was once again ruled out with an injury, and Apiwe Dianchi, one of the star players, was suspended from the season because of a doping hearing. That alone is 5 starting lineup players gone. A third of the team. How could anyone expect them to reach another Super Rugby final? And they didn't. The Lions finished 9th on the combined log in 2019, and it appeared that the glory days of the Lions were sadly over. In 2020, the Lions lost even more players like Ruan Combrick, Lanu Mapu and Malcolm Marx. Warren Whiteley is still out with an injury, and Dianchi is still not permitted to play. Yet again, they lost their head coach, Swys de Bruin. Before COVID suspended the 2020 Super Rugby season, the team had only won 1 out of 6 games. In Super Rugby Unlocked, they have performed the worst out of all the other South African Super Rugby teams. This is all a very sad story. I mean, I'm not even a Lions supporter, but for me it's difficult to see any South African side fall out of winning ways, especially when they used to be so great and successful. To sum up this video, I believe that the loss in players, the loss in coaches, and just the disappointment of 3 Super Rugby final losses has been too much for the Lions, and any team for that matter, to bear. I still love the Lions, and I really believe that they can return to their former glory. And who knows, maybe the Pro 14 will be the next title that they win. That's all from me, guys. Please let me know your opinion in the comments. I would love to hear it. Really, it would be great to hear from you guys. And that's all from me. Thank you for watching.